welcome Emmyn of Games We Play to the Music You're Missing podcast.
Thank you. Very fancy podcast room we're in right now. Kind of makes me feel like I'm famous.
So welcome to Boston. I know we were just talking a little bit before. You've never really got to like spend too much time here.
No, but I like it. Like from just the drive here, it's very cool.
I mean, it's no Attleboro, Massachusetts. I know you have high aspirations to play there.
Yes.
How did you find that town again?
So when I was younger, or not even younger, just when Games We Play was like a smaller project, I would have to book all my own shows, and there's like this little group on Facebook, and I would just post in the group like, where do I have friends in these cities, or who books shows like in America?
Yeah.
And mainly like random people hit you up, and one of them was Attleboro, Massachusetts. Yeah.
That's really funny. That's about like 40 minutes out of the city.
Really?
And I can maybe 100% say with confidence, like no touring act has ever stopped there. But
yeah. I was going to when I was 14. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But now you're playing cities a little bit bigger than Attleboro.
Yeah.
Last night of tour.
Yes, which is very it has been the longest tour I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
I started out with Fall Out Boy. I started out touring out with Fall Out Boy like 2 months ago, and today will like almost be exactly 2 months on the road. I did 7 shows with Fall Out Boy and then 22 headline, and it was a lot, but yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. So how have you adjusted to tour life? Like, have we perfected life on the road?
No. It's funny, like all my friends who, tour in similar sized bands that I do.
Yeah.
They're all like, why do you tour like that? And like my tour manager, he's a new one. A tour manager, for anybody watching, is just like the person who makes sure you get to the venue like on time.
Yeah.
He was talking to my mom. He's like, your son is like a complete crazy person. I was like, why? And he was like, you just like opt to make life much harder for yourself. So we drive through the night. So no, like we don't really tour in a functional manner, but that's how we function, if that makes sense. Like tonight, mind you, like I have hotels booked to get back to Nashville over the next couple days. My guitar player, one of my best friends, his name is Kyle. He was like, why don't we just drive the whole way to Nashville right after the show? And we're gonna go do that after the show.
That's tough. That's tough.
It's fun though, because like it's kind of boring if we don't do stuff like that.
No, that's fair. And at least you get to get home sooner, because I know you got a gig on May 31st. That's your next gig.
I do. Yeah, I do. And I get to see my dogs sooner, so I'm excited.
Yeah, like, so are you taking the next 30 days to like be a person? Do you get time off or no?
There's a couple things. Yeah, it's really weird. I definitely want to see my wife. I definitely want to see my dogs. But like, no, I kind of still don't want to be a person. Like I put out this song recently called Girl Shaped Crater. And it's been translating really well at the shows. And it's kind of like made me think that like, oh, I need to put all my eggs in the basket of this song, know?
Okay, yeah.
So when I get home, all I'm going to do, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to go to the gym and stuff. Therapy, probably going to start that.
Gotta mix that in.
Yeah. But I'm just going to like hammer Girl Shaped Crater and then prep for this festival that I'm doing. Yeah.
Wait, that's awesome to hear, because I know you said that was like your favorite song you ever wrote.
Of all time. And like,
why is that?
I don't know. I hope you come to the show tonight and you'll see it, because like I don't have a reason why. It's just like when I play it, it's like, oh, this song, and the when I sing the words, the way people sing it back, it's like, this is special to me and this is special to other people.
Yeah.
It's a really special song.
That's cool. I mean, I feel like that's more of a sign that you don't know. It just kind of feels right. Like you're sticking with your intuition.
Yeah. I wrote a song called I Hope You're Happy.
Yep.
And that's my biggest song. And it's the exact same feeling, which is cool to finally have again, Yeah. I Hope You're Happy I put out in like August or September of 2021, but it really took off in January of 2022. And those whole 4 months, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I Hope You're Happy is going to do something for me. And this new song, Girl Shaped Crater, I think is going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. That's really, your story kind of fascinated me, because you did like kind of you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, so I was a little boy.
Like literally, I said that you were like touring at 14.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, kudos to you, and I'm really happy that you're like finally, you've always kind of had growth, it seems, but it seems like you're finally getting your flowers, and I'm so happy for you.
I'm very thankful for that this is actually like happening now,
Are you like in the moment? Are you like, how are you appreciating it while also, like you said, looking towards the future and like, you got some heat under you?
I was talking to my wife, and you can't really be in the moment. It's impossible. It's almost like not a natural human thing to have people come to your shows, if that makes sense. So I was driving down. I just played in Columbus, right? Let me say Columbus. I mean, we may be able to change this tonight, but Columbus is my favorite city to play in the world. I don't know why. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but that's games we play central, you know? So I was in Columbus, and it was a sold-out show, and there was a massive line outside. My wife and I drove down the line, and I was just like, and Danny was like, Emmyn, do you know, like, all these people are here for you? And I was like, I guess, like, and then like literally seeing it, I was like, I feel like if I actually like registered that, I like would not be like a good person, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like maybe when people actually take it in, like, oh, this is for me, that's when they start becoming a little egotistical. Like when I play a show, I don't recognize that 400 or 500 people are there for music that I wrote, and I think that's good, and I think I should not recognize that. I
actually really appreciate that. I feel like you're right. I mean, when you are doing something that's it's unnatural that you have so many people that like love you, but it's great. But it is it's definitely a thing that you could get caught up in. So maybe it's for the best that you're not like, I fucking love that these people are all here for me.
So I've actually, like, that's been a thing I've been thinking about a lot lately. Just because, like, this tour has been so successful for me. I think it's my first U.S. headline tour, and I think by tonight, like, maybe we're going to cross, like, 6,000 tickets sold for the whole tour, which is huge for me, And, I just think it's maybe a little better that I don't process that those people are there for my band,
But still taking that, moving forward, like, be confident about it. Like, clearly people love you. And, like, your music kills.
Thank you. That's what I think about before I go on stage, though. Because, like, I usually get really nervous about doing a good job or whatever. And, like, whenever I go on stage, I'm like, like, this is something that I've been, like, I've been, like, working for my whole life, and now there's like 400 or 300 or 500 random people that I've never met in my life before that want to hear this music be played. So I definitely approach it with gratitude. But don't get too caught up in it.
Well, all that to be said, you played some crazy venues. Like, you played Red Rocks. You played Madison Square Garden, opening up for Fall Out Boy.
Yes.
What's the experience like playing in, like, such coveted venues?
Well, Red Rocks is awesome. I want to headline it, but it's also, like, the hardest place to play ever because it's so high, like, off the actual ground.
You
can't really breathe up there.
Oh, damn.
So, like, that whole show, I was like, it was so bad. Like, one of the drummers in the other band, he had like an oxygen. Like, it's so hard to breathe up there.
I never really thought about that. And I've been to, like, high altitudes, and just walking up the stairs, like, you can feel it take out of your breath.
And you'll see, like, tonight, like, Games We Play is a band that moves a lot. Like, there's not really a chill moment except for, like, one chill song that I do. So if you can imagine that and then take away like 75% of your oxygen, it's so hard. But, opening those venues is really sick. And it's also like, it's motivating because it's just giving me like a little glimpse of like what I actually really want to do is I want to come back and headline those venues, and I think I will one day. And it's really cool. It's an opportunity that a lot of people don't get. And sometimes, like, transparently, like, sometimes, like, I'll get a little hard on myself and be like, I'm not really, like, playing these venues. Like, I'm just opening these venues, But, like, I, like, try to sit back and, like, think about what I would have thought as, like, a little kid and been like, he doesn't think about somebody opening the show, Like, if you're on the show, like, it's a success, you know? So I'm really grateful to All Time Low and Fall Out Boy, especially for, like, putting me on, like, the big shows,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and they wouldn't have you if they didn't think that you were worthy of such a feat.
Yes. And I guess this goes into the whole thing about not being able to, like, really process, like, where I am and stuff. Like, it's interesting. And maybe one day, I don't know. It's just a challenge that I think I'll always live with, you know. But it is also cool now, like talking to you about it and thinking like, oh yeah, like my band did get here, you know. It's cool, and Red Rocks is really pretty, and like especially backstage, because it's inside of a mountain.
That's crazy.
So it's like if the back of Red Rocks is kind of like if we were in this room, but like take off this wall and the actual mountain wall is here, you know.
That's wild.
And there's like really little like. I mean, there's like memorabilia everywhere, and like there's Beatles tickets from when they played Red Rocks back there. It's crazy.
I literally have chills actually. If you're saying that, that is just to even experience like the backstage area. That's awesome.
And the cool thing about playing really fancy venues is that they have, like I said, we tour kind of crazy, and there's only 4 people on my tour right now, and even then there was only 4 people on my tour. In Red Rocks and in Madison Square Garden and venues like that, there's people that just do stuff for you. It's really nice.
Like they got laundry, you got catering.
Yep. No, like we didn't take stuff out of our van.
Oh,
we weren't allowed to. It was great. It was awesome.
That is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the load in, the load out is like are you doing that now? Like, do you have?
Oh my god, yeah. I will say that. I help with load in, but I like most nights I do like a little acoustic show after the set.
Yeah.
So I like shower and get prepped for that while my bandmates load out.
Yeah.
And my little brother, I definitely make their life harder. But yeah, I'm thankful.
Dude, those cool. Showers probably hit.
Oh yeah.
A post-show shower.
Oh yeah.
So Life's Going Great, debut album out. Obviously, want to talk about it, but first, where's the name coming from?
Honestly, I named my album Life's Going Great because my life was going like really bad, like horrible, and you know this was I wrote that record through all of 2023, and it was a very weird kind of like up and down where I would go on the biggest tours of my life, and then I would go through like the worst things I've ever been through in my life simultaneously, and I was having such a hard time, and I thought the only appropriate name for this was like a very sarcastic Life's Going Great, you know, because if I were to like personally like list out some of the things, just, you know, like it to put a few, like moving back to my mom's house, you know, like freaking a breakup of my first and only relationship. That's I'm like, praise God, like back together now, you know, but like it was a really, really tough year, and Life's Going Great was the only appropriate name for that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and now life really is going great.
Yeah. Well, I announced it for October, I think was your initial record release date, and I kind of like right before it came out, I was like, this like whole like sarcastic, sad Emmyn, this is what I'm going through, but this also isn't the Emmyn that like I am.
Yeah.
You know? So I postponed the record a couple months, and I was like, I'm just gonna hit the gym, and I'm going to sleep, and I'm gonna go to therapy, and I started taking like or some type of medication, I don't know. Wellbutrin, and I like tried to get my like life together a little more. And you know, so I can actually like put some happy Emmyn on the record too, because prior to postponement of that record, like it was just a fully sad, like really depressing record. I added 3 more songs onto that record that kind of described like who I am a little more. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to ask, with this being like your debut release, must be a little bit of pressure to like perfect the track list.
Yeah.
How did you know like what you wanted to convey with the debut project?
You know, I'm learning now, especially at these shows, because I'm actually like meeting my fans face to face, that the kind of unique thing about my music is about like how vulnerable it is and how descriptive of my life it is. And to be transparent, like that's kind of how I am in real life too. So I didn't really have trouble figuring out the topics of what this record was supposed to be about, because the only option for me was just like, I'm gonna write exactly like what's going on, you know, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat. If I did something wrong, I'm gonna write about it. If somebody did me wrong, I'm gonna write about it. So that's like where I kind of get my freaking inspiration from. And yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what I resonated a lot with the album was like kind of like you said, like vulnerability, but in a sense I've really never heard before in like ways that I kind of look for in music that speaks to me. You talked a lot about like struggling with self-esteem and self-confidence. And then it's interesting to see people comment on like the post or just in your YouTube or whatever, being like, oh, this song healed me. Like this song made me feel confident.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, like, how does that feel for you? Knowing that you're healing people, that is something that you also might be struggling with.
Yeah, it's something that I'm still like learning that is actually like happening. You know, I was at New York. I played a headline show in New York. It was the biggest show on the tour. It was 500 sold, and there was somebody there was somebody who waited since 5 a.m. outside. And like generally when you wait outside, like there's a type of person that does. And this guy like didn't really fit the mold, because generally Games We Play fans are like, I would say the ones that wait in line are like 20 to 30-year-old women, you know, most of them. But this guy was like, like much older than me, you know, and he was like a man. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Anyway, after the show, I went outside, played some songs, met everybody, and this guy was like, hey, like, he's like, because he was a bigger guy too, he was like the way you sing about like how you feel about your body or how you feel about yourself in the position that you're in, like, I want you to know that like this record has like done a lot for me. And it made me really happy. And I don't think I told my mom that. If my mom heard that, she'd probably be like crying. But yeah, I'm glad that my honesty can, I don't know if help, but like make some people relate to it, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's definitely like something that people don't talk about. It's definitely something that artists don't talk about. I know that like I go out on these tours and with Fall Out Boy or with All Time Low or with YUNGBLUD, and I honestly feel like a little embarrassed to get on stage because of like the way I look. Because like you look at artists right now and they're like, can I say the F word?
Yeah.
They're like hot as fuck.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's very weird. Me playing the same rooms, opening for the same bands, and one day I want to look like them, but I don't look like them right now, you know? And it's, honestly, my whole life, it's been a very hard kind of thing to deal with.
Yeah, I feel you.
And there's a lot of that on this record.
Yeah.
Especially like with the song Naked, or with the song, somebody's filming me, especially with the song Naked. Oh, I think she knows Games You Play.
Oh, that's lit.
Yeah. Especially with the song Naked, or especially with the song Round and Round or something.
Yeah.
Like, that is like stuff that I really deal with, and I'm not embarrassed to say I deal with it, but it definitely is hard. Like going, like having the opportunities that I have, but also feeling the way that I do about myself, you know?
No, yeah. I mean, like I said, like that is something I actively look for in music. Like, because that's like, I feel like music kind of heals certain things, or like just makes you feel more confident in some ways. And like, that stuff really only exists with like a woman demographic in mind. Like it's not something I come across often. So when I do, I'm like, I really resonate with it. And I know many other people do as well.
It's cool. That's my favorite thing about like Games You Play shows. There is literally no, you cannot describe my Games You Play fans. There's like I said, there's like 21 to 30-year-old girls, and then there's like 45-year-old dudes that had their heart broken. It also turns out frat boys love Games You Play for some reason. Oh, yeah. I don't know why. And yeah, it's really cool, and I'm really thankful. And I think it may be a product of just like being honest, you know?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned not being able to describe the fans. One way I can describe the fans of Games We Play is super fucking passionate. They are super fans. Yeah. So much to the point that I reached out to a few to see if they had any questions for you.
Really?
So I'm gonna ask them.
Hell yeah.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Eliana says, in Get a Job, you sing, I've tried a couple times, can't keep a 9 to 5. Yeah. What are some regular jobs you had before music?
Okay, so the last job I had before music, I worked at this company called Groove Life.
Okay.
They are the company that makes silicone wedding rings for like contra people, you know, and athletes. And like I would just like engrave like stuff into them, you know. It was a very weird job. Prior to that, I did Whole Foods. Yeah. Loved Whole Foods. Prior to Whole Foods, Starbucks.
Okay.
Prior to Starbucks, Target. Prior to Target, Journeys.
Oh, good discount?
Very fat discount.
Nice.
I made like $6 an hour or something.
And it all went to sneakers.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And then prior to Journeys I worked at a CrossFit gym.
Wow, you actually lived a lot of lives.
Yeah. The CrossFit gym was like the only one I really liked, and I did like Whole Foods too. But yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I worked at a supermarket too, and like I still dream about it. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, especially like I was running the coffee bar at Whole Foods, so I really had no manager.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of just doing whatever I wanted. It was great.
The games we play Paige also goes by KK. Wants to know what musicians inspired you as a kid and what musicians inspire you now.
As a kid and currently all time, like my favorite band is Blink-182. You know, I'm actually thinking about like I still haven't seen them with Tom yet, so I'm thinking about like buying a trip back home to Miami and like going and watching them. Blink is number one.
Okay.
And I don't know. I really like the song All Star by Smash Mouth, like a lot. And it's one of my favorite. I think it's one of the best songs ever written.
It's timeless.
Yeah. And there's just like a gangster vibe to that song too, just in like the beat, you know? And also there's probably All American Rejects. I love All American Rejects. And then the last one is probably Obscure. This is like one of my favorite bands of all time. Oh, there's also Newfound Glory. And there's this random band on Pure Noise Records called Masked Intruder, and they are just like I don't know how old they are because they don't like reveal their faces or anything, but they just write little love songs about girls and like robbing banks, and that's their theme about the band. And Masked Intruder is a band that has influenced me so like beyond words. Now honestly, like with my shows, Bruno Mars is probably, besides Blink, is my other favorite artist.
Okay.
And like my music doesn't sound like Bruno Mars, but if you watch a Bruno Mars show, like there's a lot of cool things in the show, and I try to copy Bruno Mars in every single possible way that I can because he's very handsome.
His outfits, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Masked Intruder, I'm gonna have to look them up.
They're great.
Joseph Whipkey wants to know, what is the craziest fan experience you've ever had?
Ooh. I have pretty dope fans. I don't know. I mean, like, well, it's weird. I think because I share a lot, my fans share a lot with me. So like, I actually like, I know a good bit amount.
Yeah.
Some like really intense hardships that I've heard, just like while they were like thanking me for the music, I guess. Nothing weird.
That's good.
There was one, and these fans were cool, but I just found it weird because like we were staying in like a different country once when we were on the All Time Low tour. We were like nowhere near the venue, okay, and there were like fans that were following the tour, but this was just funny, not weird. They ended up like in the hotel room right next to us.
Oh wow!
But like it was, I can't really explain it. It was very coincidental.
Yeah.
But they were cool. It was fine. Yeah.
That's a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
All right. Savannah wants to know, if you could set your brother Ethan up on a date with any artist, who would you choose?
Okay. I know he likes Olivia Rodrigo a lot, and she's very beautiful. But then there's like people like Sabrina Carpenter, who I think can like rock his world a little bit, you know. For those of you watching that don't know, I have a little brother that I drag around with me everywhere. He's my merch guy, but also I just bring him on tour because he hasn't had a girlfriend, and I'm dying for homeboy to have a girlfriend. But now we're talking like artists. Definitely Olivia Rodrigo. Sabrina Carpenter would just be like, I don't know. She would teach him a lot. I think Olivia Rodrigo would be Ethan's like dream lady, but also I don't really know much about this girl. Biba Doobie.
Oh yeah.
My bandmates were like, Ethan, this girl's up your alley. So I'm gonna listen to them and say Olivia, Sabrina, And Biba Doobie, if any of you ever happen to be single, my little brother is single, and he's very handsome. This is a picture of him.
We got Peter. Take notes. You got to add the picture there. That is awesome. All right, I got 2 more for you.
Oh, good.
Andrea wants to know, what is your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Ooh. I'm like not the biggest Swiftie, but this is so generic. I really like Cruel Summer, like a lot. Just because of the bridge, you know, I'm drunk in the back of the car. There's that. And then I think like Shake It Off is a really good song. No. And I can see the words I want to understand you.
You Belong With Me.
That one. Yep. That song is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Taylor Swift. But yeah.
That one actually goes hard like when pop punk covered.
Yes. That's a very common pop goes punk cover.
All right, last fan question.
Yeah.
Let me see which one we're going to do here. Okay, here we go. From Cassidy and Haley, what is your dream show?
Oh, I have a few. There's a few specific levels to said thing.
Lay it on me.
There's probably 3 that I'm going to mention. The first one is very 4. The first one is very random. I just like this venue a lot, and every time I've played at said venue, it's amazing. There's a like 3,500 cap venue in Atlanta called the Coca-Cola Roxy. Okay. And I opened for YUNGBLUD there, and I played Sad Summer Fest there, which is like a pop punk fest. So that's one. Every time I walk in there, it's great. Then, as of recent, because I just played it, Madison Square Garden is one. And right before I went on the set, I like looked at my bandmates and Ethan, and I was like, guys, I promise you, this is like not the last time we're playing here. Yeah. So MSG, and then like I said earlier, Columbus is like games we play central for some reason. And the first tour I ever went on was with a band called the Band CAMINO. Yep. And we played Columbus at this place called Kemba Live. It's a really kind of important venue to me, and also like I'm a pretty big 21 Pilots fan, and like they put on a really big show that changed their career at this venue, and Kemba Live is one. It's 2,300 people, and that is a dream. And obviously like there's arenas and stuff, but like very significant venues to me, it's Coca-Cola Roxy in Atlanta, it is Kemba Live, and it is Madison Square Garden.
Sweet. Yeah, I like how they all have like some connection to you. It's
I mean, yeah, obviously I want to play Wembley Stadium, you know, like duh, but like venues that I've kind of looked around and been like, this is really important, this show has some meaning to me, have been those 3.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, Emmyn, thank you for answering your fan questions.
Yeah.
Again, apologies for hitting them up.
No, you're good.
I wrap up every interview with these 2 questions. Okay. The first one being, what are some industry goals you have left in like the near future?
Yeah. I want what I call a fully red tour. So I want every date to be sold out. I think there was like 8,000 tickets to sell, and like I said, we sold 6,000 or something. I want to go back and I want to hit it again, and I want it to be red. And that is my kind of first goal that I can like attain. These aren't like long-term goals, you know. Also, I want a lot of people to hear Girl Shaped Crater, and then this song on my record called Petty Enemy. Yep. Those are probably my 2 favorite on the album. Also favorite amongst fans. I want a lot of people to hear that, and I want to have like a I Hope You're Happy style viral moment of like tens of millions of views on this song, you know, because I believe in those songs a lot. Long term, I guess my biggest goal always is to have fully red shows as big as possible, you know, like my dream, the end all be all for me is to like add or put up multiple dates in multiple arenas and like them sell out. You know, that's another thing that a lot of people do. This is a thing that I want so bad, and a lot of my friends have it, is that when they put up a tour, they like don't even have to market it that much because it sells out, you know? Yeah. So a lot of the rooms on this tour sold out, but I want it to sell out like within a week.
Just with one Instagram post.
Yes. Like, that is the type of artist that I want to be. And I believe that one day I'll be there.
Yeah.
But that is my all-time biggest goal, and that I can do that with the biggest shows and multiple dates in one city, and like, you know.
I saw, didn't it happen to you once sometime?
It
saw
happened,
like a TikTok or something.
Yeah, I cried.
Awesome.
It happened when I played London.
Damn, international.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a 200-cap venue. It was this room called Camden Assembly, and I put up the tickets, and then I like messaged my managers or agent. Mind you, nobody was up. It was like 3 a.m. because that's when like London tickets go live.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, the tickets aren't available. Like, what? Why isn't this link working?
Be a glitch, yeah.
Yeah. And he said, I don't know. Let me see. And then he texted me like 2 hours later. He's like, oh no, they all sold. I was like, that was 1 minute. It was very weird. It was very crazy.
That's awesome. That's just indicative of what's to come, my friend.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you.
All right, and then I wrap up every interview with this question. Unrelated to music, unrelated to your career.
Okay.
What are some goals you got?
Okay. You could probably make a lot of sense of this on my record. I want to like fix my relationship with food. Like, I have some weird food problems, like eating disorder type stuff that I don't know if this
here.
Yeah. I don't know if this is too open, but like that is a big goal of mine.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's probably my biggest goal, to be honest. Like, if we're talking aside from music, that's I was talking to my wife about it yesterday. Like, that has kind of been plaguing me since I've been like 12, you know, and there hasn't been a day in my life since I've been 12 where I haven't thought about said thing. So that's one. And another goal, it's happening already, but like I hope it goes smoothly, is my girl and I are moving to LA again in July. And I just want to move into a house, you know, with my dogs. And I just kind of hope that goes well. Like, that's a goal that we're already kind of working on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just make this one final last move. And then also take care of my health and brain and stuff.
Hell yeah, we're starting a home.
Yeah.
And yeah, go back to your first point. If I was like 17 and I heard my favorite artist say that, I think I would be cured, like, currently, modern day. So thank you for being honest and vulnerable. And I love that you have someone, like, obviously that you're comfortable with to like share your journey. Your wife, obviously.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah. I think both of those are super doable, and I'm excited to see you next time you're in Boston when you're on your Red tour.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.